All right, y'all. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful Spark. You on mute.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful
Florence Sizzle.
and the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And this is We Talk Weeklies after the talk, y'all. And of course, we have a dynamic show. But before we do anything, we got to start with how was y'all day? How was y'all day?
I live a peaceful life, not a boring life, but I don't have nothing special today. It's just cold. I can hear the wind blowing. I did nothing but eat, sleep, make some noise from my body parts, and that's it. If you get what my drift.
Oh, goodness.
But that's it. I know. It's the truth. Like, that was the excitement of my day.
Okay. That was exciting. Exciting moment. All right, Sizzle, holla at me.
Yeah, I had a quiet day. I was doing a lot of work on my computer and just trying to get caught up with a bunch of stuff. But yesterday, I guess, was the highlight of my day. For those of you, it is Black History Month. So I had the opportunity to I just kind of like impromptu, like, let me go and do something with this couple hours of free time I have. And I went to the African American Museum, and I haven't been there in so long. But I went there and I was able to see the Ruth E. Carter exhibit, and it was beyond phenomenal. I said, this woman is a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
She is just phenomenal. Like, you would get, and I'm gonna because I took tons of like pictures and videos and all that from from Black Panther, from Sinners, from Malcolm X, from just so many different things that she had her hands in when it comes to design. Just, you would get lost into everything that she did. And I just would encourage like people who are, just into art, design, and Black History Month, just to go go and see her exhibit, and you won't be disappointed, because I really enjoyed myself there.
Fantastic. For those who don't know who she is, why don't you give her a little background?
Maybe you would give her a little background. I know she's she's a designer. She's won tons of awards. I think she got probably the most recognition for her winning an Academy Award for her design in Black Panther, designing all of the costumes in Black Panther. And I think now Ryan Coogler is like, he has her front and center when from the time he starts working on stuff. Mm-hmm. So everything, all of the costumes that you see in Black Panther 1 and 2, and even in Sinners, that's her. Yeah. That's her. Like all of that is all her. And I was just thinking, like, she should have been winning awards, but you know how that goes when it's just like we've arrived to a point where now it's like we start getting recognition, but then you have to think back like, wait a minute, she should have been getting recognition because like she's just like her work is just it's on another level, and there's no way that she should not have been winning awards to that magnitude of an Academy Award, which she now has, I believe, too.
Yeah,
She should have had that a long time ago
yeah,
from Malcolm X and all the stuff that she's done. But Ruth E. Carter, she's definitely the truth.
yeah, absolutely. Costume designer. She is now the most decorated
Yes.
costume designer. This isn't woman. This is period. So shout out to her. She deserves her flowers. And she's a sister. And she'll be, part of the esteem for us. She should be on your Mount Rushmore of costume designers. She should be dead center, right in the front. So, yeah, kudos to that. If you haven't seen the exhibit, make sure you go because it's in Philly. So shout out to Philly. And so if you're, I'm sure to be there for a while. So make sure you come down. Philly is about to celebrate 250. Make that a trip. And yeah, Philadelphia is definitely in the building. All
Yeah, I
right.
did hear that. I heard them saying that, not to cut you off, but I heard them saying that Tisha Campbell stopped by there, and there was like part of the exhibit where I think they had the Spike Lee movie with her in it, and they had a few of her pictures up there as part of the exhibit too. So I guess she went to see that, but even that was really nice.
Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be more celebrities coming once they hear about it. If it's not already out there, everybody wants to come to Philly anyway. And so that just gives them a reason to come. So shout out to Ruth E. Carter. Yeah, for sure. Okay, no doubt. What about you, counselor?
What started off as a busy day with too many things on my list to do. I was supposed to take the dog to the groomer, get my hair done, my nails, my pedicure, get my lashes touched up. But man down, we had an evacuation at work this week, and I had to climb down 30 flights of stairs, and my body is definitely paying for it. I cannot walk right now, so I just been elevated for 2 days now, hoping it'll pass by Monday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's funny.
You got your steps in.
I was about to say that. Did you check your fit or your Apple Watch? One of them. I know
At it like I was like, no.
that's funny. Yeah, where is that? You got it on your arm? Check it right now. What it say? She gonna check it. We doing this live.
Right, to be continued.
I know, right? It's still counting. It's still counting. That's a lot of steps, man.
Yeah.
Was it a drill or a real one?
It was a real one. It wasn't something about the pipes and it set off the fire alarm, but we still had to get out the building. So what was that, Thursday? It says I only did 5,817 steps.
Only?
Yeah, I was thinking it's going to take more.
That was the step.
That's funny. Wow, that's a lot of steps, though. That's still a lot of steps, man. But kudos to you. I'm sure you'll be feeling it the next couple days. Take a warm bath for the next few days. Epsom salt, all that good old stuff. Yeah, no, for sure. That's what's up. All right.
How was your day? See,
same thing here, man. I'm nursing a little, cold. I guess it's a cold, but. Same old routine, getting ready for the show. Just happy to be here. Happy to be breathing.
You just flew back though from somewhere. Tell us about that. How was that?
Flew back from Miami. It was actually cold in Miami. And one thing that some of the Miamians will probably need to get used to is buying jackets, buying coats, because I don't think they were ready for that cold. I could tell you something else that wasn't ready for that cold that came in. Those iguanas wasn't ready for that cold.
Did you see any?
I didn't see any, but the people I was with were talking about it because most of them were from Miami. Some people flew in, so they wasn't privy to it. But apparently, the reason for that is that iguanas are cold-blooded animals, right? cold. And what happens is their blood freezes and they go into a state of hibernation. So when they went into hibernate, they just everything stops. So everything slows down. They're still alive. They're just sleep in a deep sleep, so to speak. They fell out and people were just picking them up off the ground. I just couldn't believe it. That was really interesting, but it does make sense. And it's generally a cause of you talking about Miami that never gets cold, so they never had to hibernate. All right. So they're always out there. So if someone is watching from Miami and experience some of this stuff and can tell us more, let us know. Let us know in the comments. Tell us what's going on out there. But
they
people
kind of doing like
what you say?
they doing the mannequin challenge basically.
Yeah, they doing more than the mannequin challenge. They becoming tacos for some people. People saying they making tacos, but a lot of people are pretty excited about it because they are invasive, apparently. Not sure what they do. Not sure if they, are eating, or in people backyards or just becoming a nuisance on the roads or anything. I'm not sure what that problem is, why they are invasive, but I think they eat the wildlife, some of the smaller things that protects the environment or whatever. And I'm sure that, got to leave the bees alone, and bees have been disappearing. And so I got a thing for bees for some reason. Don't ask me why. I just got a thing for bees, man. Leave them bees alone, man. They don't mess with you. They protect you. Honey. I like honey. But yeah, apparently, they're invasive and people now are like, making tacos out of them. There's a place where you can, if they fall out the tree, you can take them and they're humanely euthanize them or something like that. But I haven't heard anyone say, they'll put them on the side until they wake back up. They like get rid of them things. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. So that was me over the weekend. So I'm ready to go into what's going on with you already know. You ready for me, class lady?
I'm ready.
All right, you ready for me? Well, give it to me early, man.
I got my theme music. Play my theme music.
All right, no doubt.
All right. Y'all know that this is the good news and bad news. And what we do is we really try to focus on a lot of stuff in the Philadelphia area. So in West Philly, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there is a beloved Negro baseball league. They had a mural in West Philly, and they were called the Philadelphia Stars. And that was taken down after water damage and some deterioration from the wall that it was placed on. So the mural was at 44th and Parkside, and it was celebrating one of the greatest Black baseball teams in Philadelphia. So locals are saying that it wasn't destroyed. It's just being basically recreated or renovated so that they can that. Once one community member said that it's more than just art, it's our history, and we're bringing it back bigger and better. The project is being led with help from the neighborhood groups and art organizations to make sure that this piece of Philly stays alive. So the Philadelphia Stars was a professional Black baseball team that played in the Negro leagues from 1933 to 1952. They were based in Philly. A lot of games were played in Passon Field. I don't know. I ain't never hear of that. Passon Field. Did y'all ever hear of that part of Philly?
Nah, I haven't heard that.
No.
Yeah, I was like, Passon Field? I don't know. But that's a
how did they spell it?
That I did.
Maybe they calling it something else. What did they?
Passon Field in West Philly.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That don't even sound familiar to me. Passon Field.
So if somebody hears this, they'll let us know, especially the older people, because you know how everything has changed. Like, and I'm from Mount Airy, but they called it Uptown, a couple years back. It wasn't called that. Like, we didn't call it that 25 years because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even, what is that? Northern Liberties? We didn't call it Northern Liberties back in the day, right? Am I the only one? Northern Liberties, that name came like in the late 2000s, I think.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that in Brewery Town.
And I was like, what's
Now
Yeah,
that
like
part, now that's different. That brewery town nonsense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
all right, maybe it's just me.
And you
All
gotta
right.
make it seem cute.
Yeah, yeah. All right, this next story is it's kind of weird because I've never heard this before. So there was a couple who bought a house in about 3 years ago in 2023 in the Beaver County part of Pennsylvania, and they basically thought that they found their dream home until they discovered a large swastic, say it right,
Swastika. Yeah.
swastika,
There you go.
um, and a German eagle, and it was permanently tiled in the basement floor, hidden under a rug. So when they purchased the house at 550,000, they said that the seller never told them about it, and now they're suing. So they're claiming that they never bought that. They would never have bought the house if they'd known that this existed. The homeowner name is Lynn Ray Wentworth, and she told the CBS affiliate KDKA that she was shocked and mortified when she saw it. The case raised a lot of questions about, what sellers are supposed to disclose. So now they have a case for about $50,000 because
That's
those
it?
are the damages. Well, it's basically the damages that's going to have to use to replace the basement floor. So. Now,
Well,
if they took it, go ahead.
No, is the couple is who purchased the house?
Couple.
I know. So they black or white? That's all I gotta say.
They
I'm-
are, I believe they're Caucasian. I believe they're right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And would they happen to be like our Jewish brethren?
I'm not
Because if
sure. I haven't heard that.
they're Jewish, they got more
Uh-huh.
than $55,000 that they should be suing for.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And I'm not even an attorney. We got counselor
Oh.
on there, but I'm just saying.
I can
55,000.
confirm that they are white. So I
Okay.
can confirm that.
Interesting. And so I
Mhm.
hope that they get way more than $55,000 just for
Yeah.
floor replacement.
Yeah, I think it's because of the floor, but I think the layers you're talking about is more about what happened in the walls, like what took place in this house that now we're living in it. Is that is basically what you're saying?
No, you can continue your story. I'm just saying, period. But no, go ahead. You good start. Go ahead.
I mean, no, I want to know, like, is that because I wouldn't understand, like, the judge would
Okay.
say, what is this based on?
No, so it'd probably be more of a civil situation, but you're talking about emotional. You're talking about something that's if like emotionally irreparable. You can't take that back, especially if it has a history of racist connotation that your family grew up in, that God forbid, I don't want to say his name, was responsible for tons of people being unalive, right? And you happen to be maybe a descendant of that, living in a house that, man, I know, I'm not an attorney, but I'm sure counselor can speak on that. But I'm just saying that I hope that they get more than $55,000.
Yeah.
If they're of our Jewish brethren, that's all I'm saying.
Well, they could if they added those kind of things into the claim. It sounds like a service center only filing for the property repairs. So
Say that one more time, counselor. You was breaking up.
They could if they tacked on those kind of claims to the matter that's already before the court. But it sounds like from what Sparkle was saying, it's only for the property reconstruction. And so they may not have a relationship to that history to add on those claims or to sue for some kind of emotional damage.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, they need to be doing that.
And I think it's a little contradicting because the wife did say that if they knew that was there, they wouldn't have never bought the house. However, they're only suing for the damages to replace the basement floor. So it sounds like what you're saying, Charles, but it sounds like they're only going after the replacement for the tiles. But the other thing is that when they did the walkthrough, there was a rug that was covering it. So that's a little odd. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like they
Sellers
yeah.
have
found it after they pulled the rug off. Hmm.
or duty to disclose defects, property defects, or hazards within the home. And so I guess it's questionable as to whether or not it is a property defect or a hazard in the home because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It obviously was fine for the last set of owners, but may not be fine for this one. But it does look like there was some intent there to hide it by putting a rug over it so they could proceed with the sale. So that's
That's
probably
right. That's right,
Yeah.
counselor. That's what I'm talking. So basically, Spark, this is what I would say to them.
The story is baloney. You people must be idiots. What are you doing? Are you people out of your mind? Are you just dull with it?
Yo, I'm telling you, it's no defense for that. Because if it was one piece of carpet rug over that piece, come on, man, it sounds like somebody's trying to hide that. That ain't a good look at all. Whether they are our Jewish brethren or not, it's just not okay because just the kind of thing. But I mean, she's being okay with or nice about just fix my floor, okay. But these days, 55, that's not even enough to do that. But okay. Cool.
Hmm.
Can I say something crazy?
Uh-huh.
I haven't been lately, but I always collect like Asian art and Asian art, like you see that symbol, that the symbol that kind of looks like a swastika. So in, I guess Buddhism, that symbol represents like eternity and like infinity, and it's supposed to be prosperity and all good stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Oh wow.
yeah,
100%. No, but that's it. I mean, that particular
crazy.
symbol goes way back. If it's turned, I think in the opposite, it's a completely different connotation because it derives from something different. But I'm saying that specifically, we probably all know. Of course, we making assumptions here, but allegedly, I'm sure that it was something behind that. But
Can you show the image one more time?
yeah, sure. Hold on.
I see it. Yeah.
Oh, that's clear. You can't get over that.
And they had a rug over it.
Yeah.
And
That-
when was the house built?
When?
Yeah.
I don't know when it was built, but I know they bought it in 2023.
Okay.
Yeah,
20
I should
oh,
have had a
that's
picture of the house. It's a nice size house too. It didn't
and
say
where is
what the
it?
square footage. It's in Beaver, PA.
Beaver.
Beaver County. PA.
Mm.
Nice size house.
Mhm.
Yeah, it had like columns in the front and everything. Nice
Mm.
house. Yeah.
And then
So,
that's
Yeah,
say it
crazy.
again.
I said, and then that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, my concern is if you, as the current owners, are so bothered by it and you want the house to be redone, I would have been of the heart and mind to like move because I would have wanted to known what was happening in this house. What was the history?
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. What happened in the house?
First
Yeah.
day out there, forget my dream home. I'm not living in the history of this.
No. Was there seances there? What was going
Yeah.
on? Yeah, no. I'm cool.
Yeah. I mean, the argument could be that that happens in a lot of houses that you don't know, but because this is what they found, something went on. So, all right. Well, our next story, I think everybody is going to be getting the relief of this, especially, Pennsylvania and Philadelphians. So, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro unveiled his $53.2 billion budget for 2026 through 2027. He just did this in Harrisburg, and his goal is on affordable housing and low energy costs. I don't know about y'all, but the electric bill is crazy. So now this plan includes about $1 billion, which will expand housing and infrastructure. So hopefully this will have consumers pay less for their electricity. The governor told lawmakers that the rising housing prices and rent have outpaced the wages, and we need to go big on housing and make a real impact, he says. So supporters say that the budget would help renters and homeowners, but it still has to get approved by the state legislators before it becomes law. Where are they getting this money from? That the money that they say they don't have? Like, Pennsylvania is still, specifically Philadelphia, is still the city who minimum wage is still the same. But y'all, they come up with money when they need to come up
Uh-huh.
with it, especially right before.
That's funny.
Mhm. Right before elections and all that stuff. I'm like, y'all be coming up with it. So, but
I'm curious to see
yeah,
if this will actually go through because Philadelphia by itself has been making a bunch of measures to geared towards affordable housing. But even in those measures, we saw that Ben Franklin Parkway just a few years ago, there were many families living in the little tent community created, people being displaced. But there's been some talk that what they have deemed to be affordable housing is still not affordable. And so I'm wondering what this new push from the governor is going to do, and if it's actually going to be affordable, because it is true, and it's happened for years now that the income here, in at least in Philadelphia, has been not comparable to what the cost of living is, what it is for food and things like that. So we've been at this for some time now, for a significant time, even for people like me who are employed. My ends don't
yeah,
justify my means, and so
yeah.
for people who have less than, I'm still very concerned because what has been, said to help sometimes appears not to help.
I
Yeah.
agree. And if you're doing affordable housing and you're saying, like you said, if the wages aren't adding up, stop looking at the byproduct and look at what the source is. Because back in our day, it was like, oh, you get a fast food job. That's for a kid to start learning. Guess who will have them fast food jobs now? People
Grown,
who are taking care of an entire family,
mhm.
paying rent or mortgage, car notes, like those are not just kid jobs no more. And I'm not talking about the management part of it. I'm talking about literally the front people who are taking your order. And it's not just kids who are doing, being a waiter or nothing. The college or the struggling actress or model or artist, then it's not. These are really people who are literally trying to survive.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was your good news and your bad news from your girl, Classy Lady Sparkle.
Interesting. Good news and bad news by Classic Lady Sparkle. Before we move on, I want to read something that I was doing a little digging. It says, this is what the court decided on that particular case. The case turned on whether the swastika floor was a material defect that Pennsylvania real estate seller disclosure law requires sellers to disclose. Both the Beaver County trial court and later the Pennsylvania Superior Court ruled that the tiled swastika and German eagle, while offensive, did not qualify as material defect in the way that the statute defines structural and safety problems. Because of the interpretation, the seller was found not legally obligated to disclose the symbols to the buyers before the sale. So pretty much they could have possibly known and felt like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything because I'm not legally obligated to do so. They go further to say that is there more history behind a specific floor? Public record describes the floor only as Nazi iconography, tiled into a basement in a Beaver County home. The stories do not identify who originally installed it or when, beyond nothing that it predated the Windsworth 2023 purchase. So there's no other, I guess, information behind it. That would be interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to go anywhere, and it didn't. And
Hmm.
it went on appeal, so the Superior Court confirmed the ruling of the lower court.
Thanks for closing it up. That's that wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I want to say one more thing about I want to say one more thing. So there's the story that you did about the African American Negro League portrait, and that's actually in for those who are watching, that particular mural is on the corner of, I want to say, Parkside and Belmont. I think it's on a corner of Belmont and Parkside, or it was. I need to go back there and see if it's totally removed or painted over right now. But there was a person by the name of, geez, I forgot his name, but he was one of the last surviving players that just passed away, but his daughter, a Dr. Maylene Duckett Lee, actually had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to speak with her, and we'll be talking to her, I guess, later on during the year. I'm almost positive that she will be at that particular closing when they open up and do that. But what I will show real quick, because I had the opportunity to talk to her, this is something
Did
that
you make
her,
yourself freeze? Is it
I
just me?
know.
I froze.
You've been froze for like 5 minutes.
Oh, nobody said anything.
She
I
good
can't.
with the
Your voice is
AI.
still going.
Oh,
I
there we go.
oh, see myself.
You're
Wow.
doing the mannequin.
That's funny. I'm doing a
This was
mannequin.
thorough though. Yeah, it was like, you know how you want to be present at a meeting but go somewhere else? You was
Oh,
just
that's
like
Yeah.
but
Right.
talking, but it was like it was you.
that's funny. But let me pull this up real quick. This is something that she had shared with me. This was created. So Satchel Paige, Oscar. So these were some of the Negro players, and this is her
Oh,
dad
wow.
right here. My home Duckett. This guy in a wheelchair, that's actually one of the last, well, he just passed away. Not just, it was a few years ago, but he passed away, and he was one that was on the team, Philadelphia Negro League team. So it was good to see this, and it was also good to hear from her, to which I'm in communication with
Wow.
pretty often. So this is that's the actual picture, the Mural Philadelphia Stars, a tribute to the Negro League. Baseball is located on Belmont Avenue, directly across from Memorial Park in West Philadelphia. Right across the street from this lies a statue. Hopefully they didn't take that down. That's still there. But I was actually at the unveiling of this when they put it out, and so this was a We Talk Weekly thing that we actually covered before, or got the footage that I have to try my best to find it. But yeah, one of the things that they said about the Negro League is they didn't play them, or didn't want to play them, because they was black, right? What do you think the reason they didn't want to play them?
We know.
They were too good.
They were stellar. What they say, chef's kiss.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And so it was good that you brought that up, and to share that information, and I'm glad that you did. Yeah.
But that's why they don't want us to be a part of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not one sport that I don't believe that we didn't start, even genres of music. I mean, that's why a lot of stuff is getting, or trying to get, erased. What did Wayne say?
Oh, you know what he said? Richard Allen. Hold on. Hey Wayne, I appreciate you joining in. What Richard Allen? What's maybe is that the part? I forgot which. I just seen a comment, so I was able to bring him up. If you're on, Wayne, why don't you let us know what you mean about Richard Allen? But yeah, Richard Allen. That's another one out of Philadelphia that needs to be acknowledged and talked about. Sunny Hill is another one. This is all Black history, Philadelphia Black history, that no one tends to talk about. The gentleman, I forgot the other gentleman who OIC is named after him. Another gentleman out of Philadelphia. It's a lot of people that came out of Philadelphia. Martin Luther King Jr. Used to be in Philadelphia a lot. Oh, there you go. He played for the Phillies in Negro League. Just honored recently. Oh, that's what's up. I need to find out. But that Richard Allen, that's what's up. You know what? I didn't even know that. Interesting. I was wondering.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Appreciate you, my guy. That's my guy right there. But no, good job, Spark. Appreciate that.
No problem. That was your good news and your bad news from Classy Lady Sparkle.
So that was your good news and bad news by Classy Lady Sparkle. I'm your boy Charles Gregory. The beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And we'll be right back after this with, we're going to talk a little bit about, our Esquire. We're going to see what story she got, but we'll be right back after this. You ever listen to Alexa? Let's listen to Alexa. What's going on? This your favorite fly guy, Charles Gregory. We Talk Weekly. Listen, everyone always asks me, they inbox me, email me, all types of things.
we're trying to find your podcast. I mean, we can find your videos everywhere. All we have to do is go to WeTalkWeekly.com, or all we need to do is go to YouTube, or all we need to do is turn on Business Bully Channel, turn on Higher Than 7, turn on, we can find you. But sometimes I just want to work out and I want to listen to your podcast. I want to hear the latest in the sizzle, entertainment news, or good news and bad news, or just simply, I want to hear the interviews, some music, anything sports. I just want to listen. And I don't know where to find your podcast. I said, you know what? It's real simple. All you have to do is ask the right person. Watch this. Hey Alexa, play We Talk Weekly's podcast.
Here's We Talk Weekly from Amazon Music. Here's where you left off in the latest episode. Olivia Jade Red Table Talk, Kevin Hart Backlash for Netflix special No F's Given, and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Talk Weekly's After the Talk. And I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful. And the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
See, I told you. It's not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. All you have to do is ask the right person. Ask Alexa. Look, I'm out here. Thanks for watching. Keep supporting. Keep subscribing. Keep telling people to chime in. We out here like last year. I love.
There you go. We Talk Weekly is definitely in the building, man. I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
And the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And Tanisha Henry, you have something for me? This Esquire.
Yes, I do.
Holler at me early.
So we're going to do some legal tea with tea today. We've entered the month of February, where many choose to celebrate love, whether it's love of self, love of others, or even the love of Black history. Now, Valentine's Day, 7 days on a countdown, is one of the top, if not the single most popular days for marriage proposals in the United States. It acts as a major peak within the engagement season, which typically spans from Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day. So research estimates suggest that while December, the entire month of December, has the highest overall volume for engagements, it is Valentine's Day specifically that is often ranked as the busiest single day for proposals. That also indicates that approximately 220,000 proposals take place on this day. That's almost 250,000 people getting engaged every year in the United States on this day. That's amazing. But that does not mean that 220,000 people or couples make it to the altar afterwards. So, what happens if for some reason, after you exchange your bling bling and got your pretty thing, that for some reason the engagement is broken off and marriage is off the table? What happens to the ring? Does the recipient get to keep it? What y'all think before I tell y'all?
It's a gift. Well,
No.
it's a contract kind of, right?
I ain't gonna tell you, just tell me what you think.
Right.
I know you.
I'm from a legal standpoint, isn't it like a contract? Because like you give the ring in exchange for the marriage, and it's like, will you marry me? And it's legally binding, kind of like a contract. Like, here's the ring if you're going to marry me, and if you're not going to marry me, then you should be giving the ring back. It's not necessarily a gift. Like a gift is like, here, happy birthday. Here is a ring for you. That's my take.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say don't do it on a day that is compromising. So if you're going to do it, because either one could like argue with that it's a gift. So if it's a birthday, if it's Valentine's Day, don't propose. Anything outside of a day of a gift, then it's a binding contract. So if it's on a day that is your birthday, something symbolizing a milestone, don't propose, because now it could be considered a gift. But if you do it outside of that, it's a binding contract. That's my take.
Okay. Charles, what you got?
Well, I just asked that question one more again. Ask it again.
What happens to the ring if the people don't make it down the aisle, the engagement ring?
You gotta give that back, man. If I'm giving you a ring to propose and we don't, then the proposal off. Give me the ring. I gave you the ring because I'm proposing. And the idea is that we're getting married. If we don't, then look, get that back. I don't care what happened. The ring come back.
All right. So let me tell y'all what's in my mind. This is just in my mind because I'm a human being before I'm an attorney, right? So that's how I think. Yes, I ultimately I'm gonna follow the law, but these are my sentiments. So in my mind, if I have dealt with you for however long, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and I just happen to have given you my best years, my 20s and my 30s, my most fertile years, for reproduction. Maybe I moved across the state lines for you, or took a job in your consideration, or even refused the job considering you, shared my friends and family with you, or even elevated your life in any way. I earned that darn ring, okay? It's mine.
Wait, engagement.
10 years is common law.
Y'all only knew each other for 2 years.
I'm sorry, Gus, I had to lock you up on that one. So because that's what so what you the picture you painted gives the impression that nothing else happened outside of the ring.
I mean, you can get time back. That's the most valuable currency on earth. You want to give me these diamonds?
But I thought engagement is like a 2-year. You like, did you build? I don't think you built nothing yet.
No,
wait, like a year and a half.
So what if he gave you diamond earrings before he gave you the ring?
All right, that's good.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So what if he gave you, a diamond necklace prior to the ring?
That's considerable too.
Okay, so let's get back to the ring now.
Mm-hmm. So let's get into the law on this. An engagement ring falls in 2 categories. It is property. We call this movable property. The old common law, old property law word is called a chattel, and it is still in the textbooks. It's still in the law. We still refer to it as a chattel. The other category that the engagement ring falls into is a gift. Now, laws around gifts typically require that you do not have to give gifts back. So once you have it, it's yours. Ain't no, let me have that back, typically with a gift. But engagement rings, just like Ms. Sizzle said, they are conditional gifts. So it's its own category. They are given with the expectation that marriage will result from it. Pennsylvania courts have long held that an engagement ring, or for people who don't like diamonds or jewelry and they choose to give another symbolic gift, those things are given in the contemplation of marriage. It's a conditional gift that does not vest with the receiver until the contemplated marriage actually occurs. So if there's no marriage, the engagement ring or whatever the gift was must be returned to the sender or the giver. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, it was a joke, but remember when Tiffany Haddish was dating Common and she was like, "Don't give me no ring. I went to these on a property complex, apartment complex as my exchange." Because some people just don't do rings. But in these situations, does it matter who broke off the engagement?
No.
He's right. In the case of Lynn versus Sermon, they established what's called in Pennsylvania the no-fault rule. So if either party breaks off the engagement, the ring must still return to the giver. So it really doesn't matter whose fault it is. The ring has to be returned. You can only keep it. You can only keep the ring if the giver explicitly tells you that you can keep it. Or in the 2023 case of Campbell versus Tang, this case established that if the giver of the ring was already legally married to someone else, and that marriage never, ever, ever ended in divorce or death, that the giver had no legal right in the first place to even propose a marriage.
Oh, wow.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
So this case established just in 2023 that if the giver of a ring was already legally married to someone else, and that marriage that they're in never ended in a divorce or never ended in death, that giver never had the legal right to even propose a marriage to you. So you get to keep the ring in that instance.
Real quick. So if Stefan Diggs propose to Cardi B and give her a ring, and she's not technically divorced from, what is it, Offset,
Mm-hmm.
then he cannot be like, give me back the ring if something happened.
Right.
Because he knows,
Mm-hmm.
oh, wow, I did not know that. Oh, wow.
Is that PA state law? Or
Yes,
is it?
man.
He said, no way.
Point said,
Oh,
not happening. No woman will give that back unless it is used as a projectile.
Oh, he about to take
Otherwise,
it to court.
don't have any expectation for it to be returned. Man, look.
that's
So
crazy.
the reasoning behind that is that there's no condition of marriage to be met, because you can't, in Pennsylvania, you can't have two legal spouses at one time. So y'all never get to that. So the joke is on that person who decided to go ahead and try to engage you or propose to you and try to marry you when they already weren't legally able to do so.
Well, someone could argue. I'm asking you, counselor. Could someone argue then? They can potentially sue you for the property back because they proposed to you under the impression that you were truthful in being able to be married.
So let's get into a little bit of that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, because otherwise you misleaded me, and I probably wouldn't be with you in the first place.
Well, in Pennsylvania, this is known as bigamy. When you're married to a person and you try to contract or purport to contract another person in marriage, this is a crime. It's a misdemeanor of the second degree, for which you can face up to 2 years in prison. Now, for the other party, because I think your question was more about the other party. If the other party, the person who was receiving the ring or whatever, or contracted for marriage, if they marry someone who they know is already married, they too can be charged with bigamy. So you go on too.
So I have a question. So if what happens if you live in the state of PA, but you go and get married in Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
Does these like conditions still apply to you, or like you get engaged and get married all in one in Vegas? Like, how would that work if you reside in like PA or something like that?
So I believe that the state that you're married in, those are the laws that govern your marriage. Those are those who keep the record marriage and have the certificate of marriage. And I believe that's also where you would have to go to file for a divorce. I will say that the stuff that they have structured in Vegas around marriage, I think, is very different, and there might be some exceptions and stuff somewhere that I'm not quite aware about. So I'm not too sure about that.
Can I add something to this story? So one of the Govan sisters from the reality show, her ex-husband, I think it was Lauren, her ex-husband or ex-fiance, the father of her children, he gave her like a $400,000 ring. He proposed to her, and then they broke up, and he befriended her and made her think they were getting back together just so he could get the ring and switch it out for a fake one. So he switched the $400,000 ring out, and then she found out and tried to sue him to get the original $400,000 ring that he had proposed to her, and the judge said, "No, ma'am." Isn't it crazy? Like, I think he had Cam Newton was talking about a $400,000 ring. Yes, he proposed that was real. And then they started, it started spiraling down, and he was like, "Nah, you ain't keeping that ring." So he act like he wanted to get back with her, got back with her, switched it out for a phony one, and then wound up telling her that it was that he switched it out. And she took it, but she lost, he won.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That rings something else.
So what he could have did was what I was going to tell y'all. When you're in a situation where the engagement is broken off and they don't want to give you the ring back or refuse to or whatever, you can actually sue them in a civil claims court and force them to give the ring back. It's called a replevin action, another old property term that's still on the books and we still use. And basically, it's a lawsuit that recovers property, so you can get the ring back in situations where they refuse to do it.
So his way was
and
easier.
it might have been if she didn't catch on to it and then go sue him instead. So
but Oh, that's cool. No, I was going to ask then if she even caught on and sued and he sued her for it, he could then sue her for not only the ring but also the legal costs, right? So now she paying more.
Action is only for property. It's not for money. So that would be a different if it was money.
Okay, I got you.
This is specifically limited to movable property, which we know a ring is, or some other kind of property that's that you have a rightful ownership to and that you can get back. So when you file that action, you file a complaint, but oftentimes you can also file with your complaint something else. It's called a writ to seize a writ to seize property, and that writ goes to the court with the complaint, but it results in a judgment before the actual judgment. So it's for immediate repossession of whatever the item is, in this case, the engagement ring, before the case is even over. So it's immediately in order for you to go get your stuff back. As long as you can prove that you're the rightful owner of it or that you're entitled to immediate possession. How do you prove that? Y'all keep them receipts.
That's right. I was just going to say that.
Keep them videos of the engagement, them photos of the engagement, and them aerial views that y'all got going with the the drone stuff. Keep all that. That's your evidence to prove that you're the rightful owner and you're entitled to immediate possession. However, the statute of limitations on replenishment.
A lot of howevers, man.
You got to move fast. Ain't no let me wait 12 months to get to an attorney. You kind of want to get to one quickly so that you can file your action within a 2-year time frame. 2 years from the date of the broken engagement and the failure to return the property.
Wow.
Which is typical for a lot of civil claims is 2 years.
So you got 2 years to do that. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
That's that. Now I had a ring given to me, proposed, and didn't accept the proposal. I gave the ring back because I was just like, it's the right thing to do. But the person told me I could have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah.
That's like a shake your hand. That broke the contract. Shake your hand, it becomes a gift. So look, so what happens in the event that black folk, oh, I don't got it no more, I sold it. Then what happens?
So they can still file that replenishment action to repossess the item. But in your discovery phase that you'll go through with the court and your attorney, you can determine where the ring is or whether it still exists and things like that. Should there have been something that actually happened to the ring and it is no longer discoverable, or they really did do something or turn it into some type of money, then a different action will have to be filed. That's when you file for damages or to recover the amount of the value of the ring.
So that's why I think Gilbert Arenas, that's his name, went and did what he did to get that ring from Lauren Govan. Yeah, because he's $400,000, and all she gonna say is, "Oh, I sold it and just put it on my tab." Nah.
And oftentimes when you resell jewelry, you're not actually getting the amount that you paid for initially. So there's usually a loss there.
So he said, Miss Counselor, are you licensed in Delaware?
I am not licensed in Delaware. However, I do get a lot of people who call me from all over the country for legal advice. And I always tell them that I'm not licensed in your state. However, states generally follow the federal law. So I'll do the research on the federal law, offer as much information as I can. But with that, I will always either put you to connect you to an attorney that practices law in your state, or those agencies that do it like on a sliding scale for free, so that you can get actual information from someone who has a license there. I'll even do the research on your particular matter myself under your state laws to help you along your way, because I don't want to leave people hanging. But no, I do not have a practice outside of Pennsylvania.
Amazing.
That's
How can they get in contact with you then?
So my name, Tanisha Henry. Can I see it on the screen?
Yep, yes, they can.
So TANIE, like pie. Just remember pie, y'all. The I comes before the E. Tanisha Henry @gmail.com. That's my email address. I check my email every morning. I'm also on LinkedIn under Tanisha Henry. I'm also on social media outlets as Tanisha Henry.
Fantastic. And ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do is make sure you like and subscribe this. Once this video goes out, you already get the alert, but you can rewind and listen to the things that's going on. This is now understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is this is the information that's being given out, right? This is look, we're not charging anybody for this. This is just content that people are watching and making sure that we do what we do for the community because we love to give news and information. That's what We Talk Weekly is. We give news and information. Fantastic. So, one last comment about that, right? If what would be what tip would you give to someone then if that's a possibility or that's something that's rampant, right? That someone can say, or be mischievous when it comes to, engagements potentially that someone might keep a ring. What would you give a tip to someone to make sure that they don't get got for a potential ring, especially when we talking about hundreds of $1,000s for an engagement ring?
So you know how your rings typically come with certifications, whether it's GIA certified, etc. Also with the receipts and stuff. I would keep that information. It's paper, right? So paper can fade. You can lose it. It can be burned in a fire. You can get water on it. I would scan those things in, put it in a server somewhere, email it to myself. Most of the times you can recollect your email, but you'll need that kind of proof to show that, yes, this belongs to me. Yes, I made the purchase. But then you can also use the other kinds of evidence in addition to that, because in court, we use the best evidence rule. So the best evidence rule would be the original receipt. It would be the GIA certificate. But if something happens, if you can have a backup mode, like, scanning it in and things like that, having it digitized, the court will also consider that version as the second best piece of evidence. But keep that photo, keep that video and things like that. So you can happen on this day. This is what I exchanged. This is the contract that I made with this person verbally. This was the response and things like that. All of that is could potentially be evidence if you find yourself in this position. Now, if you slick like my man with the Govan chick and you get back in there, I mean, that was clever. I don't know what. It was kind of savage, but it was also clever. And it could have worked, but she sued instead, but he still won ultimately. But also know who you're engaging. Like in Sparkle's situation, she was a recipient, but she was told that she could have it. That happens too. That's not uncommon that people say, and probably because of what I said, my sweat equity in this relationship, I earned that ring. But in situations like that, people can express that, we're good from here. You can have it. I would take it a step further because I am an attorney. I need you to put that in writing. I just want you to tell that to me in case you do get in your feelings later and you want this thing back.
I got a question, and I mentioned it earlier. What if it's given on a milestone? What if it's given on your birthday? What if it's given on Valentine's Day? That's why I said if you do it, don't do it on those days because then it's contradicting of a gift or a binding contract.
So
people try to do that on them.
Go ahead. So the difference with this, and plenty of people do engage on birthdays and Christmases and Thanksgiving and things like that. But this one is different because it comes with the verbal condition. I'm giving you this ring for your hand in marriage. So you're expected to do something in return. So it doesn't matter which day it's on. If that's the condition that the item is presented to you in, then that's it. Now, if it's just a regular ring that you're given on a birthday or as a gift for Christmas, that falls under the regular gifts laws. Once you release that thing to this recipient, that's it. Yeah. It's legally theirs.
And that's what I think, counsel, is that I'm saying that it could be his word against hers or whomever to say, I was under the impression that this was a gift for me for my birthday. You didn't make it sound, you know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness.
Keep them videos. Keep your evidence.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody showed up, didn't they? Bring them to court.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, Counselor, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I want you to give me a closing argument for that in 30 seconds. And go.
Well, Your Honor, as you know, the statements by both parties allege they both agreed that they had been dating for approximately 2 years and that they both contemplated marriage. And at such time as the Valentine's Day, 2 years into the relationship, there was an oral contract created between the two of them with a demonstration of a gift exchange for such and such ring value at this amount. 6 months later, as you can tell by both testimony, the relationship did fail. And upon a request of receipt to receive the engagement item, it was not returned. We are now 2.5 years from that, and the ring has not been returned. So we have rightfully filed a replevant action for immediate repossession of the ring. You can tell by discovery that she does still have this in her possession. So we request a judgment in our favor and for immediate return.
Try it, Mike.
You know what? Let's give her a round of applause. A round of applause. Amazing. That's sometime I do that, put you on spot. That's going to be your thing. You give me your closing argument. I love it. Another round of applause for that. Give another round of applause right there. Man. Amazing. Look at Spark. Let's go. All right, no doubt. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gregg with the beautiful,
Classy Lady Sparkle,
and the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle,
and the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
And up next, you already know what's next. We got someone with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for. You know I love the interviews, so we're going to jump right into the interviews. Y'all ready for me?
yes.
Look at Spark. Yes. All right. Well, give it to me early. Tell us who we got today. Who do we have today?
All right. Do we have Monisha Clark? Is that who we have today?
No, we got Mr. Jason in the building right now.
Oh, okay. Counsel?
Yes, joining us today is Jason Dietrichs, a communications specialist and STEM coordinator with experience in NASA-affiliated projects, who transform his hyperlexia-shaped learning journey into impactful storytelling through podcasting, social media, and hands-on STEM design. We would like to welcome to the show, We Talk Weekly, Mr. Jason Dietrichs.
Yes.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Thanks for that kind introduction, and I love the applause. So,
No doubt. Well, thanks for coming to the show. You know, we generally start our show with, asking our guests, how was your day? We'd like to see how they are doing before we get into the thick of the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate you asking that. Well, I was going to say I'm definitely doing pretty well. It is freezing cold here. I'm pretty much podcasting from the state of Maryland, where I currently live, and I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, just as a side note. So I definitely love being in the heat. So I definitely want the snow and the ice to melt soon. So.
Oh man. Well, we already like you. But first, you have to tell me, who's your favorite football team? Let's go there.
Favorite football team? Well, I was going to say I'm from Philadelphia, so yeah, I got to go with the Eagles, my man. Got to go with the Eagles.
Go Birds.
Go
Yes.
Birds. No doubt. And so why don't you let's start a little bit about, I want to jump right into STEM, right? That's one of the things, one of the organizations that we have under We Talk Weekly is Project STEAM TV. And pretty much what that is, we work with youth. We work with youth as it relates to media literacy and underscore the idea, right, of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. We say we make STEM or the sciences look sexy, right? That's what the art does. So we have to say STEAM, right? Because without the A lot of people don't know what the importance of the STEM community is doing, right? And there's some amazing things that's happening right now, outside, of course, the technology and the tech that's happening right now with the large language models and AI and all that. And I could go down that rabbit hole, but I would love to talk about, what got you into that framework of STEM and why are you so impassioned with that?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. Well, I do have to say, I like how you added the A to make it STEAM. The arts is very, very important. So we don't want to exclude that in any capacity. But it all goes back to when I was 5 years old. And originally, that seemed like ages ago, just as a side note. But when I was 5 years old, my parents noticed that I could read words at such a high level. Since I was in kindergarten, I was reading equivalent to a fifth grader. and they were just absolutely blown away by it. And they were just amazed at how well I could read. So based on that, they thought that if I could read well, they then said that maybe Jason might be able to comprehend what he's reading. So then they started asking me these questions like, hey, Jason, what does this particular word or what does this particular phrase mean? And very often I would say, I don't know. I don't know. So I was actually diagnosed when I was 5 years old with hyperlexia, which is a form of autism. And for your audience and viewers that might not be as familiar with it, think of autism like a brain. And autism has, many different branches. So hyperlexia is one, Asperger's is another, the list goes on and on. But hyperlexia involves someone who has the precocious ability to read words at such a high level, but yet struggles with reading comprehension. And I do have to say that early on in my educational journey, I was often excluded from activities. I unfortunately had many teachers, including administrators, who did not support me. They never showed me the time nor the effort that I needed in order to thrive in the classroom. And, I even had this one teacher write a completely wrong evaluation about my skill set levels and my abilities, that when I transitioned on to middle school, which is where STEM came to life for me, my middle school teachers took a look at the evaluation and they said, who is this kid? This isn't Jason at all. This is a totally different kid that they just wrote about. So elementary school was a huge struggle for me. I had two good teachers who at least tried. The problem was it was just two very toxic environments. But once I got to middle school, that's where STEM started really coming to life. My teachers saw that I struggled, and instead of pushing me aside, they sat me down, they worked with me, and they got me introduced to astronomy, chemistry, and a little bit of physics as well. And I enjoyed the hands-on learning with STEM, and I learned best through visual aids. And I realized based on that, as soon as I got introduced to STEM provided multiple different highways of opportunity, and I knew I was hooked. And it was thanks to my middle school teachers who helped me to see that hyperlexia is not a disability, but it is in fact a superpower. And that is exactly where STEM came to life for me. And, based on my journey, now it has led me to being a communications specialist where I design engaging STEM content. And I'm also a podcast guy for my company that I work at as well. And I very much enjoy it. So I get to use my skill sets and my gifts in STEM through those means. And I'm very, very grateful for that.
Oh, wow. Awesome story. Jason, do you think children are being overlooked with, hyperlexia, Asperger's? Do you think there's more resources now that are helping parents as well as teachers identify it?
That's a good question. I would say yes and no. And here's why I say that. Yes, because, thanks to technology that has evolved over the last several decades or so, it's become easier to be able to, read and, do research, etc. And I know for those individuals who have had, disabilities like with autism, like Temple Grandin, for example. Temple Grandin is someone who I hugely admire. She has quite a story as well. But back when she was growing up, a lot of people often said, including doctors and nurses, that, those individuals should belong in mental institutions. And after hearing that, I can't think of anything, more depressing, more evil, and just so heartless. I mean, why the heck would you say that about a child? Because everybody has been put on here with a unique gift and a unique purpose. Yeah. And it was thanks to, voices like her early on, back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, who helped people to see and recognize that, look, we can't treat these individuals like that ever. So I am definitely, someone who is trying to advocate for that as well. But in terms of, additional resources, yes, we most certainly could provide additional resources because, still a lot of people don't know about hyperlexia or what exactly it is, which is why I am trying to advocate it. I'm trying to promote it. And it's very important that as teachers, are trained, I feel that it's very, very important for them to get exposed to either like a classroom of, special needs students or emotional support students, but they also should understand different ways of thinking. Now, every school district is different. One of the biggest challenges they have is budget. Some school districts have more money than others. So unfortunately, for those school districts that don't have enough resources, that can hinder the amount of impact that they can make on their students. So based on that, it's like a yes and no kind of answer. But we have definitely improved over the course of our lifetime. But we still have, some more work to do. And I'm excited to lead charge in the fight for it.
You know what? I'm very thanks for that, and I appreciate you speaking to that and amplifying some of those hidden voices, right? Those softer voices that doesn't necessarily get the opportunity to be heard. And if I'm being transparent, I think most of us has a this neurodivergent piece to us, right? I think all of us are on the spectrum in some type of way. If we being honest, I mean, I know I am, but I think I appreciate you doing that. And before I go into my next question, right? There's someone that has a question for you, and she wants you to, Monica. She said, "Can you please talk about how important it is for middle and junior high school as far as development is concerned, especially since the school district of Philadelphia is trying to make them extinct?" What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was going to say that's a wonderful question. Now, I didn't, go to the school district of Philadelphia. I went to another school district, but I have, learned about the school district of Philadelphia and the lack of resources that they have. So I do have to say that, in terms of making, some students, extinct or, to make the resources, just go away, that's very troubling to hear, especially for, somebody like myself, because, it just takes me back to, my elementary school period and time frame where my teachers just were not very supportive and understanding. What we all have to realize and understand is, especially for middle school students and junior high school students, based on the question, they're starting to a lot of the times develop interests. They are starting to develop talents and passions. And what you have to do is you have to be able to further amplify. You can't exclude, you have to include, which is very, very important. And I think another problem that we have seen, especially, with, schools like the school district of Philadelphia is that I've heard that some teachers and educators say that it's important that we blend in to society. Now, as I think back on that, after hearing that, I feel like we are doing a major disservice to those, not just in my generation, but in the next generation or any generation, really, because, I would have to ask, what are we, chameleons? I don't know any of us that has that capability to blend into society. Now, that's the chameleon superpower in terms of blending in, so that way it can prevent, from getting eaten. That's their unique gift. But everybody on this planet has a unique God-given potential. And I feel like that, God's purpose for me is to do, STEM and communications. And what we have to do is, we shouldn't be blending into society. I mean, nobody looks alike besides twins, if your siblings, let's say identical twins here and there, but even identical twins, they're different as well. You're not 100% identical. Nobody thinks the same. Nobody talks the same as well. So everybody has a unique gift and a unique talent. So you have to be willing to, bring that out. I mean, what's wrong with a new way of thinking or thinking outside the box? That's primarily where I come in, especially as someone with hyperlexia. I don't usually think in between the lines. I think outside, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Although there are some people who still say, "Oh no, that's wrong. You got to think like this." Well, no. What you have to do and what you have to realize is that everybody thinks differently. Everybody learns in different ways and at different rates. But it's your responsibility to understand, what talents, your child has, and you have to go inside their mind and unlock the key to the brain or to the mind, if you will, and that's what will unleash their journey and their skill set. So if we start thinking like that, then we'll really make much more of a difference.
Jason, I'm so glad you just said that, because that's my next question. In my family, I have my niece, my only sister, oldest daughter, nonverbal, and she has severe autism. But we can tell she loves music and vibration. So how do we connect or tell, with kids like her, how can they experience STEM differently?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's great to hear. I was going to say that they are very interested, in music. Again, the arts in regards to STEM, to make it STEAM, is very, very important. But what I would have to say is, in relation to that question, how best they can, engage in, STEM or STEAM. What you have to do is you have to look for ample opportunities in terms of their musical abilities or their music interest. If there's like a particular music group that they could potentially join, or if for example, if they are eventually interested in participating in the band, the orchestra, the choir, it's totally up to them. But you have to find those organizations that they are very passionate about, and you also have to get them to step outside their comfort zone as well, by finding some ample opportunities and networking. Networking is very, very key in terms of our society today. Because I know one of the big goals for me is I want to be an astronaut growing up. I'm looking forward to going to the moon, to the Mars, and back. And in terms of my journey, it was all about learning, but it was also about networking. So as long as you find those ample opportunities, and you really get to see what your child is passionate about, then that'll definitely inspire them to go to the next level.
Yeah, fantastic. Counselor, I want to pull this question up, or this statement by one of the people. Can you read this for us, please?
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. I agree. This is a pivotal age when passions begin to grow. My love of writing came from middle school, and I'm an educator and author today. My middle school teacher saw my gift and nurtured it. Without that experience, many children will fall through the cracks in high school.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, that's, first of all, definitely very meaningful. And I think, as we can all agree, it really makes all the difference when there's a caring teacher, parent, mentor, or, somebody else who helps to light that spark. So that really warms my heart to hear. And, again, it's all about, finding the right individual or the right person for you. Now, everybody has to realize and understand that, you're going to run into people who are going to be mean, nasty, and not supportive of you. Unfortunately, that's just the way life is. But it helps you to grow. You learn from your good teachers and your not so good teachers. So in relation to that, definitely use that spark and use that motivation to propel yourself forward to the next level. I think, as Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world. So based on that, you can definitely make all the difference.
Absolutely. Jason, is there any advice that you can give to parents who have children in younger years to help better advocate for what their children need?
Oh, absolutely. Well, one of the big things is for them to, get involved in their school community. Again, whether it's in a public school, if they go to, a private, a charter, or an independent school, it doesn't matter which. But definitely getting involved in a school community is very beneficial. In addition to that, something else that I would recommend that they do is start getting into podcasting. And I think in terms of podcasting, we saw a huge jump when COVID hit, just because, people weren't able to connect. They weren't able to meet up in person. But podcasting was a wonderful way to, connect like we're doing right now. And podcasting is a wonderful way to, develop your child's story. So you can definitely help them to create engaging content like a Fun Fact Friday or something like that. You could develop, anything really, whatever their talent is. And there's so many cool tools out there in video editing. It's amazing now, but that can definitely help them to share their story and really help them to step outside their comfort zone. I know with podcasting, for me, it has helped me, particularly in social situations, to feel even more comfortable and feel even more relaxed. And, most importantly, it allows you to focus, concentrate, and, re-edit as well. So I would definitely, get into that as well, because you never really know what sort of relationships you can build through that.
Thank you.
Wow, awesome. So, Jason, when Tanisha was reading your bio, she mentioned NASA. Can you tell us, how did you get involved with NASA affiliated work, and what experience did you get from that?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. Well, first off, in terms of my journey to get to, where I am today, it wasn't easy. It was, many different zigzags. That's just, how life is. But I remember, based on my experiences, I actually started out as a public school teacher teaching middle school science and mathematics. And I started during COVID, which was quite an interesting time to teach. So, but I definitely learned all the cool, technology advancements that we've had, and I was able to apply that into the classroom to keep the learning going. After teaching, for a couple of years, I discovered some interesting areas in the aerospace industry, believe it or not. And I took my experience in terms of teaching, in terms of curriculum development and design, and I eventually got to work at a space adventure camp down at Wallops Island in Virginia, where we did robotics, coding, rocketry, and drones, which was very, very cool. So I was in charge as the space camp administrator for overseeing that a couple years ago. And then, based on the connections that I made, it led me to my role at my current company I work at right now as a communications specialist. And you know what? I realized that being in communications, I never thought that this was the career path for me. If you would have asked me to be a communications specialist 5 or 6 years ago, I'm not sure what I would have said, but I would have said, what? Like, I don't really see that. Well, being in communications, that's actually another career path that the next generation can certainly go down. A lot of people don't realize that either, which is why, the overall use of podcasting comes in. So, based on that, it led me to, where I am, at my company now. I've been there for a little more than, I would say, 2 years or so. But the company is Science Systems and Applications Incorporated, where we are a company that, supports contractors like NASA, NOAA, many other global organizations. So I'm not representing them. I'm just representing myself. I'm not an official speaker of them. But in relation to that, that's where it got me to today. And I'm very, very grateful, based on all my experiences, to work at such a great organization and company. I never once thought that somebody with hyperlexia, a form of autism, would be here. And, I'm just living the dream and dreaming even bigger.
Oh, that's great.
Mhm.
That's great.
Are there any
What do you-
things? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, sis. That's what I was going to say. Were you about to ask a question?
Oh no, I was gonna say, are there any things that you're working on in the near future that you can talk about right now?
Hmm. Absolutely. There's a couple things. One of the things I'm doing is I'm actually graduating with my master's degree for this upcoming spring. So
Yes. Yay.
thank you.
Awesome.
um, So I'm getting a Master of Arts in Teacher Education, and it's in Curriculum and Instruction with a STEM emphasis, and it's through Adams State University out in Colorado. So that is definitely something very exciting that I'm doing. In addition to that, I'm also writing a book. In regards to my experiences with hyperlexia, and how STEM helped me to see that there's multiple different highways of opportunity. I'm not sure when that's going to come out yet, maybe at some point later on this year, if not next year. But that is definitely something that I'm working on as well with another graphics designer I work with. So I'm very, very excited about that. And then in addition to that, I'm also working to, becoming an astronaut as well. I'm working on making many ample connections. I've met some great astronauts already, and, looking forward to making many more connections. So those are the cool things I'm doing.
Oh,
Wow.
that's impressive.
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, that's a lot. And congratulations to you, because none of those things are small things. They're they're really big things, like to complete a master's program and to write a book. So that's a lot of work on top of everything that you're already doing. So, my hat goes off to you, and congratulations, for completing all that. Yeah. It's awesome.
And you also mentioned that you're preparing to be an astronaut.
Yes, I am.
Okay, you have to tell me, how do you prepare for
Thank you. Thank you.
a brief high-level overview, but holistically, how do you do that?
Yeah, well, that's a wonderful question. Well, first, one of the main things that I'm doing is I'm making such great connections in relation to meeting astronauts, hearing their story, going to see their presentations. That definitely helps, because you get to see some cool tips and tricks that they did, and also some of the struggles that they had as well. So it really helps to make things meaningful. One of the main things that I'm primarily doing by myself is I'm just being Jason. And I think that's definitely something that is, very, very important. And that was actually, believe it or not, in elementary school, one of my rules for my schedule book. So I remember when I was in a learning support classroom, we got, smiley faces for rules if we did well. If we didn't do well, we would get a slash. That really upset me big time, but it helped me to learn and see that, you're not perfect, but it's a way to grow. But that role really helped me. So I'm just, being Jason. I'm using my talents and my skill sets, in video editing and, STEM, social media, to get to, where I want to be in the future. So that's one of the main important things. You just have to be you. You have to use your skill sets. You have to use your passions. And, that's who NASA picks. And it's amazing too. It's not just NASA, but there's many other, space entities. There's SpaceX, there's Blue Origin, there's Virgin Galactic. The space industry has expanded so much over the last 40, 50 years. So there's lots of ample opportunities. So many more people are going into space, and hearing their stories is so, so cool. So that is definitely one of the things that I'm doing, and I'm just pacing myself, even though I'm just trying to, go slow. You don't want to go super, super fast, with a rocket. So you definitely want to be careful.
Jason, how many languages do you speak?
I actually just speak one. I mean, I know a little bit of Spanish. I can count to 10 in Spanish, but that's about all I can do.
Fantastic. So, Counselor, can you read this question one more time?
Absolutely. So Monica Allison says, one talent I believe all parents have is observation. I don't believe the parents utilize that to figure out what children or all children are interested in, and find ways to use that interest in different ways. Teens don't talk a lot, but observation can assist parents in guiding children in the direction of their gifts. So kudos to your parents, and kudos to Sparkle for seeing what your relative is drawn to.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, that definitely means a lot. I appreciate you thanking my parents. I'm very grateful that, they were able to see that, since I was able to read words at such, a high level, they started to understand, what my superpower was at first. And, even though I struggled early on in my educational journey, they were very supportive. They took me to another elementary school. They observed, which is a very key, STEM or STEAM term. You have to be able to observe. But they observed that the first experience wasn't working, so they took me to another place. Unfortunately, that a different place didn't work out either. But, I was able to learn and grow and, observe myself even further. And that's something you got to do as well, as an individual. You have to take observations. You as the individual have to, understand, what your skill sets and what your talents are. And as parents, you are responsible for helping to harness that and, allow them to, fly off and get them to the next level.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in real quick, Spark, because Monica was giving you and Jason flowers real quick. But go ahead, answer the question.
Oh, no. I'm still like impressed and just giving you your flowers for the astronaut part. And when I said the preparing, I know that they eat powdered foods. I know they have to get their body physically, and this is probably the stories that you've heard, from other astronauts in order to get prepared. But I do have a question. So the new administration, which is our Trump administration, and there's been a lot of things about the DEI, about different pilots and astronauts, and pulling back because of they're selecting certain people that fall under maybe a disability or minority or things like that. So my question to you is that what would you say to what the administration is trying to convey when such as yourself, which highly capable, but may fall under the subset of being an astronaut? What's your thoughts on that, if I was clear enough for the question?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. Well, and I have definitely seen, including, everybody, especially in the government industry, that there's been a lot of, budget cuts with STEM. And what I do have to say is, some of it I support. In terms of, the current administration, some of it I don't. And, here's why. One of the big things that I know that this current administration is doing is, especially, in the government sector, is to hold everybody accountable. I think number one, in terms of, any career path, really, it is very important that you hold yourself accountable. And if there are individuals that, either don't really care, and if they are not doing their job, well, then you should definitely talk with them, or, most importantly, they should be let go. It's important that you find someone who is, passionate, who's willing to do the job, is willing to do it right, and, can make a difference. So that I'm in full support. And I've heard some people say that they can't unite around that. And I don't understand personally why we all can't unite around accountability. I mean, don't we all, especially like as parents, want, what's best for their child? I mean, we're supposed to be responsible for helping to build the next generation up. So that is, definitely very hard and, hurtful to see that, some people just, don't really want to do any work. And that's very troubling. So that is something I do support. In terms of, things that I don't support are, some of the cuts that I have seen, particularly in the climate sector. So climate change, is a big issue. And there's even been budget cuts, in earth science as well. What we have to do and what we have to realize is we have to think back 50, 60 years ago. Does everybody remember learning about John F. Kennedy and the space race? How we were trying to, be, the first people to, get into space because we were battling the Soviet Union. It was a huge battle, but we won. we were, very victorious with that. And JFK said, this very famous quote that, we choose to go to the moon in this decade, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. And since, the United States of America became one of the global leaders in the space industry, seeing these cuts, if we continue to make these cuts, well, then we're not really going to be the ample leaders in the STEM industry, which is very troubling because there are other nations around the world who are, starting to get into space. If not, they haven't already done so already. Other countries have launched, satellites as well, and we should be championing that. We should be leading that and helping to unite around that. So that is definitely something that I have seen. But we also saw, too, there were budget cuts as well in the Biden administration as well. I remember during the final, I think, 6 months of Biden and Harris's presidency, there were 500 people from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory out in California who were let go. And I would assume some of those individuals were climate people. And I wasn't very pleased with President Biden and, former Vice President Harris and their administration with those cuts either. So it doesn't seem like both parties as of now, and I don't know why, there's not a whole lot of push for STEM. Which again is very, very troubling. So I'm trying to, amplify my voice and say, look, STEM provides multiple highways of opportunity, as we all can agree. And, we have to get people to see that, look, the United States of America, it's one of the greatest countries in the face of the earth. I don't mean to brag, but I'm proud to be an American. And we have to be, those global leaders, because if we continue to make these cuts, then what's going to happen is individuals like myself, we're going to get, pushed to the side. And you never really know, just as a side note, what individuals, like myself could do. We could be responsible for helping to come up with a cure for cancer or come up with a cure for Alzheimer's. We could also be responsible, for helping to develop a new colony on Mars or any other planet. So you don't know. If there's one small criticism, then what could happen is that child could then be pushed aside. You might never hear from them again. And that is something, that I don't support. So if we, do that, and by allowing me to amplify, my voice even further, then, we can start to change things. So I'm trying to be innovative despite, some of these cuts. My company is as well. So, and this is what we have to do. So I'm definitely very passionate about that. So I just wanted to share that answer.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's why we like you over here, because the amplification of the voices that's seldomly heard or don't get the opportunity to be heard. This is what We Talk Weekly stands for. I want to, Counselor, can you read this real quick before we close out? Yep.
Yes, for school systems where STEM/STEAM is not yet a priority, how can we effectively help administrators understand its importance for student readiness, future careers, and global competitiveness, and move from awareness to action?
Jason, real quickly, can you answer that? What would be the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to that?
Yeah, I was going to say that's a wonderful question. Well, one of the big things that you have to do is primarily in the school system, you have to find other like-minded individuals who are passionate like yourself to start a group. And you don't necessarily have to start a group in school. I definitely want to emphasize that. You could start a group outside of school as well, or you could start a side activity, a side gig, like podcasting as well. So if you don't get support, particularly, out of school, maybe you would have to think about, well, is this the right place for me? If the administrators or, if the school board is not very supportive of it, well, then, you could potentially start to, maybe do something externally to help build, your audience and your feed, or you might have to look, elsewhere, because you don't want to deal with, those kinds of people who, aren't supportive of that particular initiative. And what's very important is, on top of that, I would encourage, parents to make sure that they speak up at school board meetings as well, and, really get them to, think outside the box. if your child is being restricted in a public school, then I would definitely encourage them, to leave a public school, maybe go to a private school or an independent school, something like that, to enable your child to be even more successful. So if you look at, those kinds of opportunities, you also look at, space adventure camps as well, then, you can really start to make a difference. There's plenty of opportunities out there. You're not just restricted to one, tiny thing. So just definitely don't be afraid to expand out in case if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I do want to say, however, for those who may be marginalized and, financially, that some of those private schools are pretty expensive, and so, so
Right.
I do see that there are options and possible resources to assist or subsidize some of those costs. So I definitely agree with you with that. Before we let you leave, we always say on a show, once you come to the show, you're a friend of the show, so you're always welcome to come back. And I love and appreciated this conversation with you today. But I have two questions for you. What is do you have anything coming up, or is it anything else that you would love for our community, for our viewers that's listening in and will be seeing you, would like to know about, Jason?
Absolutely. Well, I was going to say, two things in relation to that. One of the things is I would encourage your audience and viewers to go to YouTube and check out Science Systems and Applications Incorporated, also known as SSAI, our podcast series. So I'll definitely make sure to, share that link with you all, so that way you can provide it to your audience. You'll be able to, further see some of the great work and the great stories that I have heard and get to see. I believe we have 91, podcast videos up on our YouTube channel as a whole. So, which is, very, very incredible. So I would definitely encourage, your audience to, check out our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, share it. So that way you can hear, our subject matter expertise and get to see, some of our opportunities. Again, I am not an official speaker representative of my company right now. I'm representing myself, but that is definitely something that you could do. In addition to that, what you can also do is you can feel free to contact me via my personal email, which I'll make sure to provide that as well. If you're curious to learn more about hyperlexia or, just about my STEM journey in general, please don't hesitate to reach out. And then in addition to that, I'm starting to get into some singing, as well. So definitely, some karaoke nights. I'm looking forward to doing that. And, based on my STEM journey, I just have to say, now it's time to fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on a Jupiter and Mars. So
Oh,
I just
Blue
have
Eyes. That
Um,
was great. Oh, you did that awesome. Oh, Frank Sinatra.
Fantastic.
yes.
I know Frankie Blue Eyes, right? Frankie Blue Eyes.
Oh, Blue Eyes.
exactly, or as my mom says, Frankie baby. So
Frankie
that's
baby,
what-
yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt, no doubt, yeah. And so, how did you? So, really quickly, I'm pretty curious. How did you hear about or find out about We Talk Weekly?
That's a wonderful question. Well, I was going to say I've been on Podmatch, I think, for the last I would probably say 2.5 years or so. I started getting into it based on a friend's recommendation. One of the best decisions, that I've ever made, because I've really enjoyed, sharing my story and my experiences even further. And, I saw a message actually from you all. We talk weekly in terms of being a guest on the show. And I was, very thrilled and very honored to be asked. So it was through Podmatch, through a message from you all, where I was able to develop that connection.
Well, fantastic, fantastic. Well, we want to continue to amplify those voices and people like yourself to continue the good fight, so to speak. And that's for anyone who needs that support. And so I want to say you continue doing what you're doing. And again, once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back. But really quickly, how can they get back in contact with you and all that good old stuff?
Absolutely. Well, again, they can check out my company's YouTube channel, Science Systems and Applications Incorporated, SSAI, to follow each of our podcasts that we've done. You can also reach out to me via my personal email. It's clarinetman114@gmail.com. I also play the clarinet, as I'm sure you can tell from that email address. So you can feel free to contact me there just to hear more of my story, hear more about my work. And in addition to that, if anybody in the audience is curious and wants to learn more about SSAI and partner with us, or to get in contact with an official speaker representative, you can reach out to connect@ssaihq.com. Again, that is connect@ssaihq.com. And I'll make sure to share all those resources with you all.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Jason, a man of many talents. I want to thank you for coming to the show, my friend, and we'll see you on the other side.
Sounds great. Thank you all so much for having me. It was great to meet you all.
Not a problem. Take care now. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk of WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies After the Talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful Spark froze. Spark froze. You gotta lead the president out your mouth, Spark, because that's probably what's happening right now. You can't.
Oh my God! I was not frozen on my end. Am I frozen now?
No, you're not messing with you. No, you're not frozen now, but you're good now, no doubt. Shout out to Monica. Yeah, no doubt. And the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
And the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
And Monica said, great show. Thanks. No problem, Monica. This is what we do. All right, Sizzle, you ready for me?
Yeah.
All right, no doubt. Give it to me early.
All right. So if you want to support journalism with We Talk Weekly News by subscribing and following us on all social media and major podcast platforms, you can do so that you can stay informed and connected. And if you want to help us expand our community-centered, solutions-based reporting, you can make a donation via Cash App to $ We Talk Weekly or securely through PayPal at wetalkweekly.com. And no donation is too great or too small. Every contribution makes a huge impact. All right, so the 68th Annual Grammys Award kicked off on February 1st on CBS. According to Nielsen's ratings, the network raked in only 14.4 million viewers, which is a 6.5 decline from 2025. So Trevor Noah hosted the Grammys for what he announced would be his last time hosting the Grammys. So he's been doing it every year since 2021. And in his opening monologue, it included jabs at Bill Clinton, Diddy, Nicki Minaj, and Trump. Cher, she clumsily returned to the Grammy stage for 18 years to accept the Lifetime Achievement Award. She was supposed to present Record of the Year, but before leaving the stage, at the end of her speech, she said, I'm supposed to walk off now. So she turns and she's walking off the stage and gets always to the end. And then she starts being ushered back on the stage by a producer while Trevor Noah says on the mic, could we get you to announce the nominees? She was supposed to announce the nominees to the winner of the best record of the year once she accepted her Lifetime Achievement Award speech. So instead, she said, when she starts announcing it, and so it's another little thing she messed up, but she starts announcing it and she's like, oh, the Grammy goes to Luther Vandross. So really the album was Luther, Kendrick Lamar, but then she says Luther Vandross and everybody's like, what? But Kendrick does get up and then he comes to the stage because he knew it was him. But Kendrick Lamar, he was the biggest winner of the night, snagging 5 Grammy Awards for the record of the year, Luther, with SZA. He also had big best rap album, GNX, best melodic rap performance, Luther with SZA, best rap song, TV Off, best rap performance, Chains and Whips with the Clips. And Kendrick's Grammy haul this year clinches his spot as most awarded rapper in Grammy history with 27 Grammys. And he surpasses Jay-Z with his 25 Grammy record. And Justin Bieber, he made a Grammy comeback after a 4-year hiatus. His stripped down performance included him wearing his living room best outfit, nothing but boxers and socks, while he played a guitar and singing. He sang his nominated song "Yukon." Although he was nominated in 4 different categories, Justin Bieber unfortunately left empty-handed. So he will be headlining the 2026 Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival in April. So sadly, he was not able to take any awards with him. So there was a nice little Grammys finale. Well, it was a nice little Grammys finale. This wasn't my grand finale, but the Grammys finale was the 2026 Grammys was Bad Bunny winning the Album of the Year award for his Debe Terrar Más Fotos. Debe Terrar Más Fotos. I was trying to get my little Spanish together. I know Charles just mentioned, you know, how many languages does he speak. I better get back to my Duolingo because my Spanish is getting a little rusty. I was practicing. But he is the first artist with a Spanish language album to win this award. And Bad Bunny gave a powerful speech, mostly addressing ICE. He said, "Before I say thanks to God, I gotta say ICE out." He said, "We're not savage, we're not animals, we're not aliens, we are humans, we are Americans." And unfortunately, Bad Bunny was not able to perform at the Grammys this year due to his Super Bowl halftime performance contractual obligations. So I thought it was really cool how Trevor Noah, when he was hosting, he came up to Bad Bunny and he was like kind of like singing the lyrics to his song, knowing that Bad Bunny really couldn't sing because he has his contract to sing at the halftime performance, so he wasn't able to perform there. So Trevor Noah like has this band come out. He goes over to him, he sits down with him, and he hands him the mic, like puts the mic in his face, and he's singing the lyrics. And then he's like, "Bring the band out," or something he says, and then the band comes out playing his song. So I thought that was pretty cool, but you know, he couldn't sing because he has a contract. If you want to see him, check him out at the Super Bowl halftime performance, which is going to be coming up next Sunday. Oh, wait, or is it this Sunday? Wait, I'm off. The Super Bowl is tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, this February is going so fast. It doesn't even seem like, yeah, tomorrow. Super Bowl is tomorrow. So if you want to see him, you can check him out tomorrow. And finally, the legendary Lauryn Hill, whose last performed at the Grammys in 1999. She returned to the Grammy stage after 27 years to give a powerful and emotional tribute to Roberta Flack and D'Angelo. So D'Angelo was featured on the song "Nothing Even Matters," if you remember back then, from her iconic album "Miseducation of Lauryn Hill." So at the 1999 Grammys, Lauryn's album was nominated for 10 Grammys then, and she made history as the first woman to win 5 awards in one night, the first rap artist to win Album of the Year. So I guess you don't improve upon perfection, right? So I guess that's why there was only one album. Well, anyway, during her 2026 Grammys performance tribute to D'Angelo, she sang part of her duet with D'Angelo and "Nothing Even Matters." But this just was like really, really star-studded. I thought it was phenomenal. She brought out so many different artists to come out and sing parts of D'Angelo's songs. And then she also, in the second part of the tribute, first it was like R&B artist Lucky Day. He sang a snippet of Brown Sugar. Raphael Sadiq sang Lady. Leon Thomas, Anthony Hamilton, Bilal, and John Baptiste came out and they sang little snippets of D'Angelo songs. You know, "How Does It Feel?" "Devil's Pie," all that. Lauryn Hill, she also paid a tribute. The second half of the tribute part was Roberta Flack, and then she was singing her hits. You know, "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face," "Killing Me Softly," "Closer I Get to You," "Where's the Love?" and then bringing out legends Layla Hathaway, John Legend, Shaka Khan, and Wyclef Jean. And then the big closeout was the performance with the Fugees version of Killing Me Softly.
Wow.
Wyclef Jean. And while they were singing that part, they at the back they still had the pictures of Angie Stone, Dwayne Wiggins from Tony, who also passed away, John Forte from the Refugees, he passed away recently. And then the icing on the cake was when they sang the amen ending to the song Total Praise by Richard Smallwood, who recently passed away on December 30th. So for me, that was the grand finale to the Grammys. So did anybody catch the Grammys this past on February 1st? No.
No, I did.
I didn't see.
What she did. I love Lauryn Hill. She's my
Yes. She looked beautiful. She looked beautiful. Her performance was stunning. Like, if you could see, like, at the end, the band was awesome. You know, people were just singing and dancing along, and you know, everybody was singing the lyrics. And I thought Bilal, when he sang How Does It Feel? Oh my gosh, he sounded just like D'Angelo. I was like, wow, he blew me away with it. It was just phenomenal. And it was amazing when Wyclef came out, and he just looked awesome. He looked really, really good. Shaka Khan looked good. Everybody sounded amazing. It just was like a top tier performance. And you know, I just couldn't believe. I love me some Lauryn Hill. I'm telling you, like, Lauryn Hill was just.
I'm gonna watch it. But did anybody have they missed Praz a little bit because the whole Fugees wasn't there, and I know that he was recently arrested.
We ain't gonna talk about the rest of you. The Fugees. We good.
He's not there. They're gonna be like, well, where is he? You know, so
we good.
It didn't. I mean, I guess it's obvious that he is missing, but it's like you didn't really miss him. You know what I mean? Like, it's obvious because he's a part of the Fugees, but it was just like
he was. Everyone forgot about him anyway. I don't know. It's about Lauryn Hill. I was just happy to see Lauryn Hill.
Just so huge, and it's like she's just a fool herself. Like,
yeah, I agree. But how we gonna not talk about the elephant in the room? Like, if I don't bring it, I guess I'm the person that be like, I'm the generational, person who stops the generational curse. Like see.
You won't put that us.
I'll put you in jail for a second, Spark. let them live for a second. Let them live. Let this be a great moment right now.
And I think because it was a tribute, nobody really thought about him. I'm not gonna say nobody thought about him, but like, because it was a tribute and it was more so about D'Angelo and Roberta Flack, like just paying homage to them, and like the other ones, you know, the greats that we lost as well, like Angie Stone and you know, John Forte just passed away like literally weeks ago. It was I guess it was just such a moment, you know, that you didn't even have time to even really think about him. But
and the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, every song I listen to, but people don't know that the one was because some of those songs were her originals that Lauryn actually redid.
Hold on, say that again.
Some of the songs that Lauryn Hill did were originals, like they were from Roberta Flack on the Miseducation.
Yeah.
So that's where the paying homage to her as well was done.
Yeah, I think that was one of her idols. But like that album itself is like I don't want to say it's very few unskippable albums, but that's definitely on the list of unskippable albums where you can listen from like what they used to say, what was it, cover to cover or like start to finish, like, and not skip one song. Absolutely, like hands down, legendary.
Yeah, she's
Legendary.
iconic. She's on Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I
Yes,
agree.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
triple threat. Triple threat.
yes, yes, yes.
I like what Monica said about Cher.
Yeah,
see that.
yeah. Let me pull up the comment. I mean, like, yeah, that's what I said. You can't.
Oh. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying the singer Monica.
No.
Oh no, Monica Alice, when she said Cher,
Yeah.
I guess kept making her
Yeah.
her mishap.
Yeah,
And
I was like,
that's true.
Luke
Yeah,
in the upper room.
Because SZA was like, oh yeah, they said something to her about they, when they interviewed her afterwards, they were like, yeah, did you hear Cher? She said Luther Vandross, and SZA was like, oh yeah, Cher is queening. So I like how she kind of was just like, yeah, leave Cher alone.
Yeah, there you go. It don't matter what
And
she
hasn't been back there in so long. So I mean,
like that's the queen bee. Like you just be
Cher.
like, yeah,
Like-
yup, you right. That's right. You know what I'm saying? No, so
Cher.
let's share.
Yeah.
But shout out to SZA for having a I mean, that was a media culture moment, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
she handled it with grace, and so you got to
Mhm.
give her props for that.
Exactly. All right, so just 6 days into Black History Month, while we're all commemorating our heritage, we're drinking our water and minding our business. The 47th president is refusing to apologize for a social media post to his True Social account depicting a meme of former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as primates in the jungle. So, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said, "This is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public." So if you've seen The Lion King, then you know there are no apes or gorillas in The Lion King. So this 60-second video remained posted for 12 hours on Trump's True Social account. So both Democrats and Republicans, they condemned the post and called for it to be removed. Republican Senator Tim Scott said, "Praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it." And then House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said, this disgusting video posted by the so-called president was done intentionally. F Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior. He did, he went on and on. He said some other things. But a lot of people have spoken out against this. A lot of celebrities and politicians are speaking out about it. And after bipartisan backlash, Trump finally removed the post and blamed it on a White House staffer. A White House official said a White House staffer erroneously made the post. It has been taken down. Trump claimed he did not see the whole video where the meme of the Obamas appears at the end, but this video promotes fake allegations of voting machines helping to steal the 2020 election. So Trump, he refuses to admit any wrongdoing or apologize. A spokesperson for the Obamas stated they have no comment. This isn't the first time Trump has attacked former President Obama. When Obama was in office, Trump accused him of not being born in Hawaii and being born in Kenya instead. So this post plays on a long history of racist tropes against Black people, comparing them to primates. So a lot of people were saying, like, why isn't this White House staffer that posted this, why hasn't this person been fired?
Well, Trump don't have to fire anybody that he don't want to fire. And my thing is, one,
Al Sharpton said if that person is fired, Trump would have to walk himself out.
Well, just like I said, I'm not surprised. of anything that happens, though the amount of stuff that has been happening, I'm not surprised at all that this happened. I'm more surprised that I didn't hear a comment from, you know, the Obamas. I mean, this, if it was anything that should have been at the very least acknowledged and said, like, yo, it was deplorable and it shouldn't have happened and it was racist or whatever, then cool. I see most of us more mad than anything. And it's just, it was just very disrespectful. But I'll say this, I think that was a distraction because there's other stuff that's happening out there right now that has been tearing up the you know, my timeline, and everybody just automatically stopped talking about that for a minute because it is. But I'm gonna just say stay woke and leave it at that.
Well, yeah, I think number one, we do know it was a distraction because if you look at the 60-second video, it's trying to accuse the 2020, is trying to show like, oh, these voting machines are, they were designed to pretty much steal the election. And then once you get to the end, there's like 2 seconds of this meme. So the whole thing is all that voting stuff. And then you get to the very end as it's going out is 2 seconds of this meme. So, I mean, clearly, I mean, I'm just saying that this is just me speaking, not the reflection of We Talk Weekly, but I'm just saying like that it seemed like it is just like a, you know, it's a distraction, you know, do not be distracted. I agree with that part. Don't be distracted by, you know, from all the other stuff that's going on, everything else that's important. You know, we're still waiting on the rest of the Epstein files and everything that's going on there. It's a lot of stuff that you need to pay attention to. Number one. The other part too is that I don't feel like the Obamas have to make a comment because I would be like, I'm offended.
I do.
Like, you're not going to apologize to me. What do I have to say? Like, I'm not.
You just said.
Because I feel like they could be hurt. They could be offended. They could be being attacked and bullied on social media because a lot of this ignites and reignites rhetoric and stuff, like people that target people. And not only that, I did, and I don't know if this has anything to do with this, but I did see something else on social media where now it's like encouraging this type of behavior towards just the average Black person.
Which is the reason why I feel that they should say something. And it becomes a matter of, because at this point is rage baiting to me. That's what I see. And I believe that, you know, sometimes you have a responsibility to, you're going to have people that looks like me that's going to be super upset, right? And may do something that they shouldn't be doing. And since the Obamas are kind of like the first family to people who look like me, they probably need to say, look, we know what's going on. Don't get excited. Don't get, it's okay. We understand it's nonsense, and kind of like turn face or about face or whatever they want to do. But I do think they have a responsibility to address it. Otherwise, people, which I have already heard, people like, well, if they're not mad, why should I? Right. And so, which is another conversation, and I think is nuanced and it has more layers. But I do think that there's some type of responsibility for those that may be rage baited into doing something that, you know, the other people are hoping that they do. So now they can retaliate and say, see, that type of thing. So,
well, whoever said if they're not mad and so am I, then they could just stay silent.
That's true too.
And you don't have to say nothing, but at the same time too, if the Obamas addressed everybody that called, you know how many times former First Lady Michelle Obama has been called that? If she sat here and addressed every time that somebody called her a primate or disrespected her, she'd be all day responding to nonsense. Like
100%.
And
100%.
I don't really feel like, I mean, it's just like, you know how many times Obama has been called something and like things have been said or done to them over the years for like the last almost 10 years. Like, I'm not surprised that they didn't jump out the window to like defend themselves.
I'm thinking, you know, when they go low, we go high. And then she doesn't think to justify that with any response. And if she's anything like me, I don't argue with fools and I don't negotiate with demons. So, okay.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. Yep. I think everyone has an opinion two things could be true. You know, two things could be true. And you know, to that last point, Lauren, no, I agree with you too. I will say that all of those derogatory statements that was made about the first lady, which was horrible, they never came from their peers. Technically, the president of the United States is the past president's peer. And so that never came from the White House like that. And so to say another president off his pretty much Instagram or whatever social media account come from his page to say you are, or this is a reflection of you, to me, that's a problem. I mean, but that's just me. I agree with you. I think two things could be true. I'm not saying anything is wrong. I'm just saying certain things need to be. I think that's something that should be addressed.
I agree.
Yeah.
There are populations of our society where a response from those they look to and love, respect, and people want guidance from, where if you don't address it, then people can recant it. I do believe that there's a segment of our population that wants that and feels that they're owed that and deserves that, and it would be wise to say something or do something. So in my head, I'm just expecting like a family photo shoot to come out during Black History Month, showing that they are the end all be all in their
that part
in their crowns and whatever. I'm expecting a response like that, silent and subtle, but okay. How about this?
Yeah, and I like the support that's been going forward from like just so many different people that have been just like sharing just pictures of the Obamas to their social medias and just, you know, showing love. I think that speaks volumes without really saying anything. You just, you know, posting a picture just to show your support, because
I think the blatantly of the president, if you're the commander in chief of the United States, if you're saying that your staffer made the mistake, but you're not going to apologize, that doesn't, out of everything, okay, it was put out there, you didn't see, because I think he claims that because it was at the end, he didn't see part, and you know, whatever the excuse is. So if it wasn't intentional, to apologize, like to have decorum and integrity behind something that you know wasn't intentional, that part does not sit well with me.
Have we ever heard him apologize to anybody?
Not directly.
Yeah, I've heard the political side of it.
Behavior.
No, it doesn't.
But
I'm just saying,
apology is not even. It's for you're the commander in chief, so you're the leader, you're the coach. So if your football makes something that you're coaching, then as a leader, you take on whatever was wrong. So even your mission is that your staff did this, and the staff member were wrong. Then as a leader, you're supposed to say, okay, I have to take that and apologize behind what the mishap was. And I don't know. I really think that Trump has dementia. I think he's going through neurological problems allegedly, but I really think that as someone in healthcare who can see the signs and symptoms of someone who has sundowning or early signs of being demented or senile, he fits that allegedly, but he fits the symptoms. That's it.
Can I ask this question? And I'm trying to be serious and ask a medically related question, and I know you can't diagnose necessarily by proxy from afar, but with your assessment there, is that like a nice way of ignoring the diagnosis that he is a textbook diagnosed narcissist and that this is what these behaviors are? And this is what people are saying. I'm not making a diagnosis. I don't know. I ain't treated the man. So, but
Well, I'm not a medical doctor nor psychotherapist or psychiatrist, but if you textbook and look at some of those obvious signs that he has, then I would definitely say that there are symptoms that he demonstrates that are textbook facts that is with a textbook diagnosis of and demonstrates.
Yeah. He displays certain characteristics. Interesting. But
Yes,
like I
just like when
like
you're doing
yeah,
bipolarism or
yeah.
schizophrenia, and these are different symptoms and signs that happen, it's very, very on par with that. But I also think because this is his, he can't run again. I feel like I think he's being reckless because he doesn't care.
He might find a way. You never know. Uh, so I'll just say
yeah,
to
he
my
said
people, relax. It's the Obamas probably has something on the horizon, but relax. We already see through it. That's all I'm saying. See through it. Yeah.
All right.
That calls for a beat. Like that, we needed a pause after all of that.
Yeah, cause I'm like, yeah, we could still be diligent, but at the same time, we could take our time out and
Right.
like address stuff, call a spade a spade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. No. 100%. 100%.
yeah. Cause I mean, I don't know. Certain people keep getting passes, and they the more passes they get because they feel like, oh, I can just go unchecked, because I have unchecked power. I can do what I want, and then people just this will just blow over, and nobody's gonna say nothing. They'll leave me alone, and whatever. And it's just not cool because the stuff that it affects is a marginalized group of people or a select group of people, which is just not cool.
I agree. I agree. I think we need to start thinking about strategy. I've been saying this since we heard about Project 2025. I said, how come we don't have a project? We need to be strategizing and put some things
I
in
heard
order.
there was one.
It needs to be. That's what we need to be talking about. Like, how can we? Yeah, let's make this thing happen. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think more people need to just, like I said, you just gotta I mean, we gotta get the word out there. There is work that needs to be done to get the word out of what those plans are. Um, all right, so the celebrity sizzle of the week goes to Big Sean and Usher. They are investing 1 million into a Detroit youth innovation incubator hub inside the Michigan Central Boys and Girls Club. So the
Oh,
15,000 square foot state of the art facility, decked out with media studios, podcast, and fashion design rooms, is geared towards supporting young adults ages 14 to 24 in music, film, and tech so they can pursue these careers without having to relocate. So, president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan, Sean H. Wilson, said in a statement, "We're transforming talent into capital, and we're transforming talent into capital and creativity into generational wealth." And then Big Sean said his mission has always been to make sure the next generation of dreamers and innovators from my city have the access, tools, and mentorship to do the same. And then he says the innovation incubator is about showing young people that they don't have to leave Detroit to chase opportunity. They can build it right here. And then Usher said, I've always been a true believer in igniting a spark in the next generation to be better and have access to things we didn't. It takes just one person to believe in your success, and I'm honored to be one of many in this partnership to help make that happen. So kudos to Big Sean, Usher, and the CEO and president of the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan. And just exciting time for these youth to have opportunities to music, film, and tech. I'm your girl Lauren Sizzle, and that was a sizzle.
And that was the sizzle, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful
Classy Lady Spark.
and the beautiful,
Lauren Sizzle.
beautiful.
Tanisha Henry.
And this is We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPM LP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weekly after the talk. I want to good stories, Lauren. I want to pull this up because this is exactly what I was talking about. Monica says even the midterms is not a strategy. What happens after that? How do we get people to care about elections as well? And that's the thing. We don't have any strategy. We have a lot of people on, different points, different sectors of community doing their own things, talking about what they're doing on their ends, not what do we do as a collective, because I know the church have this many people that's a collective over there. I know the masjid, the imams has, a collective over here. I know the Catholic churches has their, like, how can we get together and say this is what we're going to do? I don't see it. Don't
it
see
probably
it.
is in a way.
That's
because the way you just said all of that.
No, that was only on the religious sector, right?
Yeah,
that was only religious sector, but I'm saying that broadly and saying that we still don't have people. I mean, we had just this past election for the mayor. I mean, we literally had 8, 9 people, maybe 12 running for the mayor.
14
running for mayor.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's a problem.
What you just described.
Go ahead.
No, finish.
No, I was just going to say, to me, that's a problem, especially when 4 or 5 of those people was on city council agreeing to the same policies. None of that makes sense to me. And so if y'all can't come and say, you know what, I think this is the strongest people or the strongest person that should run, let's come together. And I think everybody is in it for themselves. I'll run this and you can respond at this part. But she says, this is how we keep losing as people. No collective. I say, literally, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And this is what I'm hearing from the people. We Talk Weekly is in those streets. We listen to the people and what they're saying. We're at these town halls. You will see We Talk Weekly at most of these events when they allow us to get in. And I'm being transparent on that, because sometimes they'll stop us or say that we're not big enough to be in there. There are some gatekeepers, and so they get called out, right? But what I will say is, I listen to the people and what they're saying. And a lot of the commentary that I give is from the perspective of that. Maybe not exactly what I think, but it's what the people think. And so I like to give that information out. Go ahead, Spark.
Just echoing what you said. I mean, I was just going to say, like, there's a saying that a house divides. So if everybody has division, but also to your point, the outcome is still that we want all the same outcome. So why are we divided? Everybody wants best, but yet and still there's so much division. So that's where the strategy needs to be, where what's the common denominator? What's the overall outcome that everybody wants, and go for that? Because even with all those that were running for mayor, it was like, why are all of y'all running when some people should team up to use their skill set in order to make another person strong enough for putting out the message and amplifying it that way? I don't know. I see it the way you're saying. It's like, why is it so much division?
Yeah,
we've even had that on the presidential level. Like when a bunch of people want to run for president, is it's kind of hard to, tell somebody who's passionate about running that they can't run. I don't, I don't know what. I mean, I guess there is a way that probably would work. Like if they could work together as like, all right, I'll put you in my administration, and then like you form a team or something like that. And like if I'm the best candidate, just like what's his name? I can't think his first name, but I don't know if it's Jason, but I'll read how he stepped out of the race to let Jasmine Crockett run.
That's how
And
it should be.
yeah, like I guess he felt like maybe she might have had more of a better chance than he did. But then it's like if that person, steps down, put that person in your cabinet, I mean in your, on your staff, so that like it has to be some type of plan. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
if that's the
Yeah.
case.
No,
So that it
but
works.
that's the problem. Like someone should say, you know what, let me step aside. What happens is you got gatekeepers who want to stay in the position or get their friends in there. So people who may not even be qualified or somebody that's in their camp, they're like, no, I'm putting you in position to run. And what happens, people who literally have the ability to run or need to be or verified to run, they get ousted, or not ousted because they're not in, but they get blocked, gate kept, and can't even get in. And that happens a lot, especially in Philadelphia. And that's a problem. Monica, candidate, I know we're aware of Christian Compassion. I think that's the one that Ernest Owens is moderating. And I believe that we supposed to, Lauren, that's the one that they was talking about. Yeah, I think so. Monica, you probably know, but about Ernest Owens if he's moderating that. But we supposed to be at a few, but if we're not at this one, we'll definitely make sure that we try to get there. And yeah, we will make sure that we get this, film it, and make sure that the people get an opportunity to see it and amplify that this is what's happening, because sometimes people don't even know about these, right? Also, she says, I point blank, excuse me, asked one of the candidates, why wasn't there a backdoor meeting, chose one person and everyone put their back in. But yeah, that's the thing. Oh, no, that's Joanna's McClinton. Hold on. I'm gonna come back to that, but she just answered me. No, that's Joanna McClinton and Jordan Harris on moderate. Okay, so we'll be at that one too then. No doubt. I appreciate that. We'll be at that one too. If you had something to do with that, let me know. Inbox me. But yeah, she said she point blank asked someone like, why don't y'all get together and put somebody in there? Like, just do it. People don't, they like, no, I want this, or I was here first, or I just don't get it. People don't want to pass the baton. Sometimes it's just, sometimes we need younger people in spaces to lead the charge, and we support those voices. We don't do that. We don't, especially in Philadelphia, we don't do that. And what happens is you have people who have these old perspectives, old views, and if they're not older, right, we have people who just put them in there and they still follow in there, but they become beanie babies of those who's been in office, right? And that's a problem. We need new blood in there with fresh perspectives that has their ear to the streets. Because you're not going to be a leader who has been around since the rotary telephone telling me how to operate an iPhone. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. New perspectives. These kids don't even know what. I just literally watched, which was interesting, a video of about 8. Now, these were 8 kids in high school. They put a rotary phone and said, how do you dial this? They literally picked it up and started doing this. These are people in high school. These wasn't elementary kids. And these, which the elementary kids probably would have figured that out because they become smarter. They probably would have Googled it or something like that. But these kids don't know, right, what's going on or have that bridge to an older community. It needs to be an older community bridging that gap for younger people to lead, a new generation to lead. That's it. We need new voices in offices to lead these charges. It's a problem here. The connection becomes with the support that we can look up and say thank you because we need the wisdom. That's community. I don't know what's going on here. We got this thing mixed up in Philadelphia, and that's a problem, which is why we're having so many issues today. And that's what I got. And I don't care who's mad at that. That's what we do. We talk. We keep it a buck here. We in them streets. We see what's going on. It's the institutional knowledge that we have been seeing that y'all keep promising all these stupid promises that we see, and it's fake and it's false. Y'all not doing it right. And we have a problem with it. We interview 90% of the candidates that come through. We do that. You can look and research the videos. We hear the same stuff. We hear the same pleas to vote. Make sure you vote. It's important to vote. Vote because the ancestors died for you to vote. If you don't vote, your voice don't count. We heard it all. Literally, we was part of an initiative. Every voice, every vote. And all of the people that would say certain things, we see them later and they don't follow up. And it's everyone in leadership, even at the top, said things that don't fall, but someone can say, okay, that's politics. I'm on my soapbox right now. I'm about to end. I would just say that it's very important that you find candidates that's eager, that's true to their word. You see them more than it's just time to be elected. And that's important. Not just when they're campaigning, you see them on the road before it's time for election. And that's where I'm at. My bad, Spark. Go ahead.
Well, Charles, I think that you make a great point. And I think that is something that people are afraid to admit. I think we have an issue with pride amongst people in general, but leadership, where the elders who have been, on top, in control, had all the knowledge and was the end all be all up until this time. I think there's a fear there to relinquish that control. I think there's a fear there to slide to the background. You'll hear stories that when people hit retirement, they feared retirement because they feel that they'll soon perish or pass away. And so they're refusing to pass off this baton, not recognizing, or their pride won't allow them to recognize that there's still a place in a position for them, but it's more behind the scenes. That wisdom and knowledge is still needed, but it needs to be deposited in that changing of the guards and changing of the baton into the next generations. So there's still room for you. There's room for everybody, but they can't acknowledge that. They can't accept that. And I feel like there's fear and pride and blockage, but it's doing major damage to our climate and to the generations that are here and to come ahead of us.
That's what happens. That's what happens. And then once younger, like when we have a, say for example, and I mean, this is not to support anyone, but when you have, say for example, a Catherine Gilmore Richardson or Isaiah Thomas and or some of the younger ones that's on there, when you have people like that and they're eager and they don't include someone, it's kind of like, how you mad? You wasn't supporting them. I seen Isaiah run 3 times. Yeah. 3 times. And we covered them all. A lot of people ain't want to support him because he was young. That's a problem. Instead of saying, you know what? Let me just be on your cabinet or something. You know what? A younger person that may be running, or someone that may just be, a little green. Why don't you just be a counselor, consult? It's so many different things. You just don't have to say, no, you can't do that. Look, Monica, she's spitting parts now. She said, and you only see them in the community until they want something from the community. That's, I'm telling you, she preaching. They should be mentoring, yes, these offices the same way we mentor children. I'm going to leave this one up. When there are no youth, it means the community is dying. Period. It's no question.
It's also hypocritical because a lot of these people, how we have holdover tenants, people who stay in houses past their term, but we have holdover people, and even in the church world, in the secular world, in all forms of leadership. And it's hypocritical to not want to support a young person because you've had these positions for 40 and 50 years. You were young when you did this too. So what gives you the right to say a young person can't follow in your same exact footsteps and start off young?
Yeah, that's right.
And I agree with you, Tanisha. They have senior advisors. Like the president has like these are actual roles that they can play that are still a very high, ranking. A senior
Right.
advisor means you cut through them to get that information. So
That's right. That's right. That's right. And again, I'm not even just talking age too. I'm just talking about in kind of politics. They young in the space. They have new views. Just give them the opportunity. Say, you know what? I think we're gonna get behind you. I see that I don't feel like doing this anymore. It's people that has been running for that has been in office over 10 years, man. That's in there. That I mean, for me, that's a problem when it's other people that's coming behind you that you can literally mentor. I'm talking about 10, 15 years that has been in the same space. I mean, let me stop before I start getting calls or whatever. But I'm going to just say this. If Philadelphia needs to truly think about the future of Philadelphia, because what's happening, Philadelphia is losing itself. What we known Philadelphia to be, it isn't anymore. One can argue that, well, that's kind of like the argument you making about the new versus old. Maybe. But what I will say is that the future of Philadelphia is bleak. And if we don't get new ideas, we will fall in old ways, which is the point. So start thinking about what we can do as a community, as a city, because we say Philadelphia, we say we a city and state, right? But what can we do as Philadelphia to be better in solving a lot of the issues, some of the issues that we've been having for years, and stop gatekeeping initiatives. Stop gatekeeping initiatives and people that have been doing the work, that has the answers. And just because you've been in those spaces such a long time, you feel like you want to come in and change it, something that's already working, maybe you need to look in the mirror because there's something wrong with you. And I'm going to leave it at that and leave this last comment. We've been up here so long. We should have been off right now. Monica says, and this would be the last comment. Thanks, Monica. First of all, I want to say thank you for being so active and engaged in this conversation. I know you and your house flipping chairs and tables right now. Monica has also been has been very active in the community, from early education to policy to politics to community activism. Monica has been doing her work, so she totally gets and understands it. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. She knows the things that I'm referring to, right? But anyway, the comment says, and the senior folks have the network that younger folks need. Exactly. So we need as a community. Anyway, I don't get why we aren't mentoring those younger people to run for office. Even as committee people, we have similar issues, right? So thanks, Monica. Inbox me anyway. We need to be in touch. We need to talk about some things. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, people in Philadelphia, continue to do the work, continue advocating for the community, continue advocating for your community. Thank Ms. Johnson down the block, because believe it or not, the senator can't come on your block and stop a gang war, but I bet you Ms. Johnson can come down and be like, y'all better sit y'all butt down. I know all y'all moms. Yeah. I have seen it happen. It happen. And that's the type of community that needs to continue to happen. These days, you can't even knock on your next door neighbor and ask for a loaf of bread or a piece of bread. Can't do it. You don't even know your next door neighbor. This is what's happening now. Community isn't there anymore. What can we do to do better? Sometimes it's not about national policy. Sometimes it's about what's happening locally. Start thinking about the judges. Start thinking about why your cousin Day Day is getting roofed, getting 50 years over something small. Well, guess what you didn't do? when it was time for election, them judges was there. You ain't feel like voting, or you ain't feel like going. I ain't sitting. I don't feel like doing some service today, right? We got to start thinking about little things. Start talking to the people. Start communicating with the people. Start supporting the people that's next to you. And that's my thought. Spark, look like you want something to say before I end this. You good?
I concur with everything that y'all said. Yep. And hopefully somebody's watching this that is saying, you know what, as one of those people who are gatekeeping, they're going to be advocate and try to make a change.
No doubt, no doubt. Go ahead, Sizzle. You have something to say before we end?
No, just do your research, vote for the candidates that are doing the work that you want. Stay connected, and that's what's important. Stay engaged.
That's right. That's right. Counselor, you got something to say before I end the show?
I have to collect my thoughts.
No doubt, no doubt. So yeah, stay engaged, ladies and gentlemen. We Talk Weekly will always keep you in the loop as much as we can. What keeps us continuing to do our job is the support also. So make sure you like, subscribe, and donate if you can. We Talk Weekly, Cash App at We Talk Weekly, or just tell a friend, or share, like, and subscribe. You can do that. That costs you nothing, right? And so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful,
Classy Lady Sparkle,
and the beautiful
Florence Sizzle,
the beautiful
Tanisha Henry.
And I'm your boy Charles Gregory, and we out here like last year, y'all. Peace.
salute y'all.